Hi everyone, I'm Flavia Santoro from the University of the State of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute with the discussion about publishing culture in BPM community. I will try to share some of my thoughts with you. First of all, in my opinion, more and more, publishing at any cost seems to be the reason of living of researchers. What do I mean by at any cost? Every year, we must have something to say to the community. And sometimes it's a different topic than the one we talked about last year. And you may argue, but this is the evolvement of science. We discover new things all the time. In the case of BPM community, we are always building new artifacts or improving the existent ones. But I wonder, is it really necessary to pass through the whole evaluating process and earn the prize of being published to report our achievements from one year to another? I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like living in a perpetual motion machine. The eternal cycle of submitting year after year to the same conferences and gaining strength to move forward to well-ranked journals. And speaking of the devil, we are definitely ranking driven. But should we trust them, the rankings? Yes, why not? Rankings tell us that the publication was seriously evaluated, so it kind of guarantees quality and make us more confident that the paper will be read because we all trust and cite paper on well-ranked journals and conferences. But isn't it a type of chicken and egg, the causality dilemma? The more I cite, the highest the ranking. The highest the ranking, the more I cite. And the competitiveness only increases. Sometimes it's not about the quality of the paper itself or the report on a good, well-done research. It's about how better it is than the others. Think about all the excellent works that we will never get to know because they were below the ruler, like the 12% acceptance rate. So probably good papers are also found in not so well-ranked vehicles. In my opinion, both journals and conferences are important. About the journals, I'm convinced that in most part we depend on the hard work of good reviewers. We are lucky to have good reviewers, but we are not so lucky when we have bad reviewers. And many of us are constantly overwhelmed with reviews. And maybe the problem is the amount of submissions, and we are back to the eternal cycle of submitting. I wonder how it is possible to read all the papers that have been published every year. Poor researchers who do not have a staff. One of my PhD students is doing a systematic review now. She found more than 1,200,000 papers in the first round, and she ended up with 1,000 papers to read, to evaluate, to see if they match our goals. So it's a lot. In my opinion, the special thing about a conference is not so much the publication, but the opportunity to meet people, get to know each other, start collaborations, and see the person behind the paper. Have a glass of wine during the social events. The reviewing process of many conferences, including BPM, is very hard. I know people here from the south where I live that do not submit anymore because they have the feeling that they are not good enough to publish here. They tried so many times with no success at all, so why keep trying again? And so sometimes I also have the feeling that it looks like all the conferences are kind of musical chairs game. Do you know this game? The one people move around chairs listening to a song and then the song stops and we have to sit. And BPM is not especially different. Why is it so hard to include no members in the club? Maybe we could care less about rankings and numbers and focus on the goal. And by the way, what are the goals? What is the goal anyway? Share partial results of our ongoing research. Maybe we want to communicate something really new and special. Maybe we just want to foster the community to keep working on an insight. Maybe we want to raise a stake. But in the end of the day, the relevance of a publication is the way it will affect the world. So who do we wish to reach out? Obviously, the research community. It is the one affected by the papers we are presenting here this year during this week. But who else? We must reach out. Who must we reach out? In our case, for example, companies that might benefit from some of our inventions. Many of us are concerned about this, and this is really good. That's what I particularly like about BPM. But is this enough? Are we doing it well? Who will we never reach out here? In other words, what should we do to make the presentations made here during this week make sense to a broader public? Who does really matter about what we are discussing here? Or in other words, who cares about us? Besides ourselves, of course. In this sense, workshops could play a very important role. But the truth is, papers published on workshops do not count. So why would someone care about submitting to a workshop? And this is maybe the point in which you are doing wrong. Workshops should be about working together, co-creating, and not about having more papers being presented. Maybe you could use this space and invest our time together, not only researchers, but also users. Why not? So this discourse may seem a little bit romantic when we have to face the way we are in fact evaluated. And no doubt it drives the way we conduct our work as researchers. We are evaluated in terms of well-ranked publications that we are able to achieve. Tell me how your boss evaluates you, and I will tell you how you should work. Moreover, the panel chairs made us the following provocative questions. How did you assess the contribution of a single publication? And how would you assess the significance of a contribution of a research career? A single publication is normally measured by the number of citations along the time and its timeless impact. But let me make a point here. Among 27 papers accepted for the main conference, only 2 were written by a single author. What does it mean? Collaboration and networks really matter, even for a single publication contribution. But we have to take care. We know that it's not always what it seems. The contribution of a research career, in our area at least, would probably not exist without many people around us. However, there is a difference between a project manager and a researcher. So what's wrong with our publishing culture anyway? I would say that we kill people who kill people because killing people is wrong. What do I mean? We end up accepting or even endorsing a system without thinking too much about it. Maybe 1 or 2 valuable, high-quality paper is the amount that we as individuals can produce during a year. So I would like to finish with the following reflection. Which paper made you really proud of? Why? Did it change anyone's life? Did it change your life? Are we chasing this paper or just well-ranked journals because of the way we are evaluated or because of our own vanity? In the end, it's all a matter of ethics for all research communities, and especially in BPM community, I think it's all about social impact, whose lives we are impacting. My 2 cents. Thanks for your attention. Hope to hear from you later.